नहीं, मैं क्यों किसी का दिल तोड़ूंगी? मैं तो लोगों के दिल में जगह बनाने की कोशिश कर रही हूँ. Not moral police it and see it for the creative endeavor that I have.
Nice to meet you all. मुझे पहले एक बात बताओ, यार प्यार या शादी, what's your pick amongst the three of you?
प्यार.
All of it, यार, all of it.
कुछ ऑप्शन नहीं था.
All of it. Why not? Yeah, we can have
all of it.
But people say these days people don't want to date because there is so much of effort that goes into it. Do you also adhere to that? कि इतना effort लगता है to date, to meet people.
Totally.
I just think each one to his own. The one good thing is right now there are no definitions. Everyone can choose the life that they want, and everyone can. At least we're in these times where I think everyone gets to make a choice for themselves. But I do feel like I think there's too much emphasis on the other person. I think people need to really work on themselves to be dateable. Like, are you dateable? क्या तुम अच्छे इंसान हो? क्या are you ready to be that person that you want to be with? So I think it would be refreshing to see people think of themselves.
I think till you found the right person, now right is just subjective again, but someone who makes you happy and you make them happy. But वहां तक पहुंचने का process है complicated, and है थोड़ा irritating or effort, and sometimes you have to really pass a lot of mediocre stuff before you reach.
I agree with Arunima. वो जो यशराज की टैग नहीं है, किसी ना किसी के लिए कोई बना है. What about those जिनको नहीं मिलता है यार?
नहीं, कोई बना है पर कहाँ बना है वो नहीं बताते. वहां तक पहुंचने में बहुत टाइम लग जाता है.
सही में.
शो में किसी को मिलता है, किसी को नहीं मिलता है प्यार.
वो अनडेटेबल्स बन जाते हैं बेचारे. But Tamanna, you had said your current frame of mind is you're petrified because I'm so happy to see you because in this last year we are meeting, talking because you are doing content which I think otherwise consciously you thought maybe पता नहीं मुझे accept करेंगे क्या नहीं, but I'm just seeing after playing a bouncer who's just so going with it, and now to see you doing all this, the two different shows जो दूसरे platform में, वो show का नाम नहीं लूंगी मैं, but why are you petrified? I mean, why are you petrified?
No, it's a good petrified. It's a very good petrified. It's like the kind of nervous energy that people have when they're starting off their careers. And I hope I have this petrified feeling till forever, because I feel like that's what. See, there's nothing wrong with having nervous energy with you. It's about how you channel it. And in my case, it's been always. It's actually taken me to a good place. There's some amount of fear that's constructive. So we need to give that a lot more space to function in our lives. And the non-constructive one, we need to mellow it down. So yeah, I'm keeping the constructive one up.
So an actor who's known for those larger than life portrayals is now doing very slice of life stories. Is that easier and you feel like real finally, or was that easier?
Both are different. So I feel like as an actor, I just don't want to be contained and said, "Aap yahi kar sakte ho." I think that is the biggest, that's the biggest torture for an actor, to be confined and said, this is who you are and this is your identity and you stick to this. Because the idea of being an actor is that you are different people every day. You're not the same person. And you don't want to play same people, because if you're playing the same person, then there's no fun. And for me, it wasn't conscious back in the day. पहले अच्छे और well evolved parts लिखते नहीं थे, because commercial mainstream कुछ फिल्में अच्छी होती थी, but still कुछ काफी सारी फिल्में होती थी जहाँ पर औरतों का काम ornamental होता था. It wasn't all the way. But of course, with OTT and with a lot of cinema that is happening today, there's much better written parts. So yeah, we're enjoying that. It's, we're enjoying the glory of just being in a time and space where there are filmmakers like Arunima, whose voices need to be heard, whose stories need to be told. And when they're saying it in such a beautiful, relatable, real, aesthetic way, there's every reason to do it.
Absolutely. Sohail se पूछते हैं जिनको हमने सिर्फ intense roles में देखा है ना, playing the romantic one. Was that liberating for you?
Oh, very, because this is how I am in life.
अच्छा, you carry your heart on your sleeve types, वैसे हो?
नहीं 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 नहीं, लाइक इस मैं शो में तो मैं कमिटेड हूँ ना। बहुत ज्यादा कमिटेड हूँ। नहीं, बट लाइक I am a sensitive person. So, and whenever I used to play those intense parts also, if we categorize everything in that intense zone, तो उसमें भी मैं बहुत ज्यादा सेंसिटिविटी लाने की कोशिश करता हूँ ताकि उसको थोड़ा ह्यूमनाइज कर दें।
जी।
तो जब आपके पास कुछ ऐसा ही लिखा हुआ है कि इंसान दिल से ही बात कर रहा है तो वो थोड़ा आसान हो जाता है, और ऐसी चीज करके तो बहुत ही मजा आता है। तो लाइक आई वाज लकी दैट आई गॉट दिस पार्ट।
Absolutely. And Arunima, it's so refreshing because urban relationships and also I think वो इतने categories बनाए हुए हैं लोगों के. I think I would be in the Neanderthal वाली category. Gen Z है and millennials हैं, and each one looks at relationships very differently, and I mean what I would think is different from what you would think and what Tamanna would think and what Suhail would think. How did this idea come about? Because when I saw a bit, it was a lot like kind like a dil chata hai, dil dhadakne do, the dil chata hai, and that movie, I keep forgetting that name, with all those boys where you're trying
Zindagi milegi na dobara.
Zindagi milegi na dobara, and in the modern context because it's very relatable. So how did this come about?
So yeah, there are too many categories and we are like millennials. I'm something that's called a senior millennial, which I just hate because I'm like, what is senior? Yeah? Like I feel too old with that.
Senior millennial.
But relationships have been something that have interested me as a filmmaker for very long. And the films you have mentioned and the filmmakers like Zoya, Farhan, Dil Chahta Hai, her films have really been close to my heart. Like I've loved those. And even I'm from film school FTII, and I have mostly played with urban relationships. Like my student film, my diploma film at FTI won a national award for best direction. And that was also urban relationships set in Bombay. So there is something that draws me towards Bombay as a city, because it's like an engine of possibilities. Now, any large city in the world mein itne gears shift ho rahe hote hain, and there are so many people, there's so much happening. It's a melting pot. So I got all these characters who are from different classes, have different conflicts, and but at the core of it is relationship, and it's not only romance, it's also parent relationships and all of that, but relationships kitni baar ki hain, but I don't think that we'll ever stop making films about relationships because they form such an films or series, they form such an important part of our own inner lives. And I think that's pretty much what drew me towards this.
Tamanna, how much are you like Lavanya?
I think there are strange parts that are similar. Like, I'm born and brought up in Mumbai. So for me, that was a huge, I relate to the fact that you have school friends who are your core group, and you can, go under their building in the middle of the night and say, "Mujhe bhook lagi hai, mujhe raste pe jaake khana hai." And I'm that person. I love street food. So I've done this a lot. Whatever you see in the show, I feel like I've done this in my life. Of course, the parts that are, she's go-getting, she's, a high achiever, is a strong person, is a strong woman. But I also felt like there were strange similarities which actually drew me to this part. Like, I don't know how, but Arunima knew my favorite ice cream flavor, which I still can't get over because when I read the script, it's blackcurrant. So it's not even a normal. It's not like vanilla or chocolate or strawberry,
Or
so
even
it's
mint.
like black. It's not even mint. It's blackcurrant. So I actually kind of, it was as we shot the show, I realized that there were these so many strange, weird, similar. And I mean, I was like, Lavanya and I have these things that are similar, which seem chota, but like for me, it was like I was getting a jolt every time I would hear this. And then she took us to shoot in my favorite restaurant, and I was like, "Thanks, you brought me to my favorite restaurant in Mumbai to shoot." And I was like, "This is my favorite restaurant." So then I realized that I think there are just they're just strange similarities between me, Lavanya, me, Arunima, me, I don't know. There's a big khichdi, but it's a good khichdi. I love it.
Arunima, you basically made her relive stuff that she can't do now that since she's a star and she gets mobbed.
Oh, listen, I do all of it. Please, I go to all the restaurants. I eat pani puri on the road. I do all of it.
कैसे
कुछ नहीं होता.
पता करना पड़ेगा उनको.
कुछ नहीं, खड़े रह के रास्ते में. You ask the pani puri wala, थोड़ा जल्दी बनाओ, but he can't be so fast that you have one in your hand and then one in the bowl, and then that's just pressure in life.
So now, since it's called Jee Karda, I now want to ask the three of you, सबसे ज़्यादा क्या जी करता है? And like your characters, सबसे बड़ा internal conflict क्या रहता है?
हमारा personally.
Yeah, personally. Jee Karda, and with that one conflict that continues to, like, you know.
For me, it is to, constantly evolve as a filmmaker. It's a journey I started 20 years ago. And whatever I make, I am never fully satisfied, from my short films to my advertising to this, For me, that is the constant conflict, but it's also the constant motivation. Can I even inch closer to the artists and filmmakers who have inspired me? Like, can I grow every day a little?
And what about the two actors here?
Yeah, it's the same for me. I always struggle with, like, I always strive to get better. And when time passes, like when I shot Jee Karda, we finished last year, and when I was watching the series, I'm very overcritical about my performance because I have evolved as an actor within this year, and I've evolved as a person. So if I'll shoot Jee Karda right now, I might take some other choices in some scenes. So that's a constant conflict that I have कि यार और बेहतर होना और होता ही जाना है.
And Tamannaah, what about you?
I think definitely something very, like, of course, what Arunima and Sohail said, that's I think maybe artists have this, or creative people have this common conflict of wanting to better themselves every day. But I think for me specifically, I have realized that for me the constant quest or the battle has been to kind of let go constantly, of not holding on to whatever I have done. It could be the successes, it could be the failures, it could be good choices, not so good choices, whatever it is. And also, like, letting go of parts of my personality that don't serve me anymore, to kind of become a person that eventually can help me tell stories in a better way, in a more evolved way, which reaches more people and touches more hearts.
The one thing I've observed about you, you're way more open now than you were in the past, in the sense that you were really guarded. Now you just feel like, I have to say it, I will say it.
Yeah.
So that's the one change that was visible to me. I'm
good. So it's working. So what I'm trying to do is working. Nice to know that.
Since it's about friendship, Batao, have you ever had a crush on a friend of yours?
I had a crush on my friend's brother. So I don't know if that qualifies.
वो तो सबका होता है यार.
Yeah, man, they're all so cute. School life. I was in school though.
Have you had
a lot of crushes on friends? School, college में और किस पे होगा crush? या उन पे होगा या professors पे होगा जो आसपास है? Because I'm the pre-Tinder generation, so all our crushes are physical space. हमारी class में कौन है, हमारे school में कौन है, who are our friends, and yeah.
Senior millennial.
You don't have to right swipe and left swipe.
Yes.
What about you, Sohail?
I was school. Like, my first girlfriend was my best friend. Like we used to travel by the school bus, so we used to sit together.
Aww.
So we were friends, and then we had a relationship, and then like बचपन के खेल फिर हम बड़े हो गए.
Okay, so have you betrayed a friend?
Betrayed a friend? Not that I know of.
Arunima and Tamannaah, कभी गलती से?
कभी मैंने किसी का सीक्रेट बता दिया दूसरे फ्रेंड को, जो उसने बोला था नहीं बताना. That is betrayal.
अच्छा वो betrayal होता तो फिर वो मैंने भी किया है.
Tamanna, what about you?
Like betrayal's a really strong word.
आपका दिल तोड़ा हो. And as a friend that you've done something that you've not spoken for years and you wonder like, क्या हुआ?
No, never actually. Never.
Okay. And one Gen Z thing that you cannot wrap your head around. Since one is a senior millennial, आप दोनों तो millennial ही हो गए.
Millennial, yeah.
Millennial.
Millennials.
A Gen Z thing that you really can't wrap your head around.
The intolerance of Gen Z. I mean, they're so quick to judge, and it's it should have been the other way around. Like they should have been more tolerant because they're they're learning new things. They're more sensitive, but then it's I feel that they're quick to judge, quick to pass judgments.
I don't know if it's a Gen Z thing, but I just see a sense of casualness in attitude, which is
It is a Gen
not
Z thing.
non-serious and or not being affected by, because I think that is a huge. It is important to worry, or not worry, but like to care about things that at least in a work environment or in like massive things in life, when you can't be casual about certain things. So I feel like that's a bit of a thing that I don't understand. I don't know why. What is it that makes them feel that?
For me, it is this idea of time. Like any major dream, anything that you want to achieve takes time and too many steps and a lot of hard work. So there are no like shortcuts, so you cannot bypass time. And I feel like there is sometimes not understanding the value of time. So uski wajah se comes a sense of entitlement. It's difficult for them often to be criticized in a workspace. Like if, there have been some fabulous assistants in my career from Gen Z. So some of them are very nice enthu kids, but maybe it has something to do with this digital world and quick likes and everything, like, giving you that hi quickly ki mujhe 200 likes mil gaye, so I must be special. But maybe you're not till you put in those years of hard work. So also there's an oversensitivity to criticism. That's what I feel.
Yeah, that sounds.
Tamanna, you've got some 10, 11, 12 million people. What is social media for you? I mean, are you happy not being constantly pried upon, or it's okay?
I think it's a great tool if used well. I think it's a tool meant to be used discreetly. I just feel like it can't be your entire life. It's a part, and you use it to say something. Also, it's a great way to put out your narrative the way you like. So it's actually quite empowering. But it's all fun and games while you're using it, and I feel like it's so subtle when that shifts into like you getting used by the technology, and that's the scary part. So I feel like as long as you're using it, it's fantastic. It just shouldn't use you.
आपने लेटेस्ट मीम देखा है ना, लोगों का दिल तोड़ के आपका कैसा जी कर गया?
क्या सॉरी,
लोगों का दिल तोड़ के आपका जी कैसे कर गया?
नहीं, मैं किसी का दिल मैं क्यों किसी का दिल तोड़ूंगी? मैं तो लोगों के दिल में जगह बनाने की कोशिश कर रही हूँ.
बट आपको पता है ना आपके फैंस कैसे रिएक्ट कर रहे हैं दिल
मुझसे पूछो कैसे रिएक्ट कर रहे हैं इनके फैंस. पता नहीं.
The thing is, Pooja, they have had this strange fortune of some really loyal fans, and it's almost unrealistic as to how loyal they are. They just don't look at me as a person, and they don't look at me as an actor. For them, I am theirs, and I have become theirs ever since I started doing the films that I did, which created a space in their hearts. What I the only thing, if I could ever say something to my fans through you and through your channel, I would tell them that I'm an actor first, and for me it's very important to put out stories that actually tell you about different people. And as a woman also, I'm finally getting my voice. I'm finally getting empowered in terms of telling the stories I want to be a part of. and playing different characters. I mean, they've seen me a certain way, but it's very important. My evolution is very important for me to be able to give them something new. And if they could not, if they were to not moral police it and see it for, the creative endeavor that I have, I mean, that's my only quest, actually.
Right. But yeah, I know you are in a happy place and we are happy for you as well. And more power to you all. And thank you so much. वैसे जब picture या show आ रहा होता है, is there a superstition or something that you do on a Friday or on a Thursday or whenever it's going to be dropped? Something that you do on the day?
नहीं, बस दुआ मांगता हूँ सब अच्छा रखना. जो भी आपका सही लग रहा है वो कर दो. मतलब हवा में देख के कुछ भी मैं ऐसा बोल देता हूँ.
Arima, you should tell us because it's your first show coming out. How do you feel? Do you do something? Have you done
I
something
have
this time
no
around?
superstitions in life, like in
Love
anything.
it.
I just think it's irrational to have it, and whoever wants to have, of course, have. But I don't have any. For me, I'm just excited. For me, I have been reading everything, like every review since last night. I just want to know what people are feeling about it. So I'm just going to be this constant, like, trying to gauge the reactions person for 2-3 days, I think.
Yeah.
आप बता तमन्ना जाते जाते आपका कुछ है कि मैं कुछ नहीं पढ़ूंगी, कुछ नहीं देखूंगी?
No, I love seeing people's opinions, and I see films or shows or any kind of content that we are putting out. हम लोग लोगों के लिए ही बना रहे हैं. तो अगर लोगों को पसंद आना जरूरी है. I mean, this is a very expensive art form we've chosen. So it's definitely not for अगर अपने घर में देखना होता तो फिर हम खुद घर में बना के वही देख रहे होते because हमारे entertainment के लिए होता. But ये बहुत लार्ज स्केल पे बनता है और लोगों के लिए बनता है. तो the idea is that जितने लोग देखें, that's exactly what that we want, and that's our endeavor.
Thank you so much and all the very best. And
Thank you.
Thank you.